Welcome to my channel. I'm Polly Manette, and in this week's episode I'll be creating this little white rose. It's in oils on a 9.5 inch by 11.5 inch canvas board. If you like what you see, please hit that like button, and also in the description box below you'll find a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page where any support will help towards the materials used in this YouTube channel. You'll also find a couple of reference photographs that I took myself in my garden that you can also download, and you can give this a go yourself. Without further ado, here's the video. In today's demonstration I'm going to show you how to get an image onto a canvas board, and I've taken a couple of photographs of my rose in my garden. This one I prefer because of I've got all the foliage which I will use in the actual painting, but I really enjoyed the size of this one. And there's a couple of options you can use. The idea is that you're going to turn it around, turn it over, and then use charcoal or pencil on the back. And today I've actually used this charcoal here, which is a vine charcoal from Derwent, and I use this nice big chunky bit of charcoal. But if you haven't got that, then you can use a charcoal pencil, and this is also from Derwent, and they have a set of dark, medium and light which are very useful. And failing that, you can use a pencil, and the darker the better really. I've gone for a 3B. I think a 3-4B is fine. Even a HB might get you the job done, but I think it needs to be a little bit darker than that. All I did was use my charcoal, like I say, on the back, just went right over it, turned it over, got it into place and taped it at the top. And I used my red pen here so I could see where I went. I went around all the petals, and it's as simple as that really. I've now placed my board onto a tabletop easel, and I'm going to use a spare brush just to take off some of this charcoal. If you're doing your tracing in pencil, then I would just use an eraser just to take it off so you can still see the image. But it's not going to get into your paint or come through your paint. Yep, I'm happy with that. Now today I'm going to start with the background, and I've got Ultramarine Blue, Sap Green and Burnt Umber. I'm going to wet my brush. I'm just going to do a little mix of the green, the brown, blue it up a little bit more, and just start doing a mix, changing the mix every now and again. I'm using acrylic in this first layer so that it can dry quickly, and then I can create another layer with oils later on. I'm using titanium white, ultramarine blue, raw sienna, but you can use burnt sienna, cadmium yellow. I do actually add a little bit of burnt umber later on onto my palette. I'm also using a size 4 filbert brush. Mixing my ultramarine blue and my raw sienna with some white, I'm creating the shadows for each petal. My reference photo is on my laptop on the left. I'm taking each petal in its own turn so that my eye isn't going all over the image. I can then concentrate on one petal at a time. I mix cadmium yellow with some white to produce that beautiful glow that's emanating from the centre of the flower. I start adding some white with a teeny bit of yellow mixed in to highlight the edges of the petals. Remember to vary your mix. Keep looking at your reference photo as a guide. Here I am using a filbert brush size 0. I add a mix of my cadmium yellow with the raw sienna. If it's a little bit bright, you can add a little bit of white or a mix of your ultramarine blue and permanent Alizarin Crimson gives you a lovely purple colour. Just add a touch of that into your yellow and it should make it less bright. Raw sienna, cadmium yellow with a little bit of white for the centre. I am using a pastel pencil in white. You can use a chalk pencil or chalk to create my main leaf shapes. I'm adding permanent Alizarin Crimson to my palette. It's very useful when creating greens, which I use using Ultramarine Blue and the Cadmium Yellow to dull down your greens. When you first mix a green, it might be a little bit too bright. So if you add just a little bit of that permanent Alizarin Crimson, then it becomes a little bit of a more natural green. Add a little bit more blue for the darker areas and a little bit more yellow for the lighter areas. Here I am adding more yellow to the leaf. And then a little bit of white on the edges of the leaves, creating that jagged look. For the stamens, I'm using a mix of burnt umber, cadmium yellow and a little bit of permanent Alizarin Crimson. I'm using a detailed round brush. By dabbing the mixture with a little bit more yellow, I can vary it, creating some convincing pollen. Finally, I'm just using a straight mix of burnt umber to create that circle within the centre of the rose.